Today we have the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. So this is the most rugged Subaru Crosstrek you can get. The 2024 Crosstrek also comes with some updates. It is refreshed for this year, and we're gonna go through that and take a look at everything on the outside, the inside, and go for a test drive. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a look at the exterior details of this Wilderness model. Now, I did just show you another Crosstrek model talking about more of the different trim levels. So this one's gonna narrow in on this Wilderness model. So this is top trim, most expensive. It's a little bit more expensive than the last Crosstrek I reviewed, coming in at just about $36,000 for a pretty small crossover. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the value of that. But this Wilderness gets this specific grille right here. That is just going to be on the Wilderness. And the Crosstrek overall is redesigned for this model year with this refresh. We've got these LED turn signals, LED headlights, the daytime running lights as well, and even these nice slick LED fog lights here. And these headlights are even adaptive, and I have a night review showing those off if you want to check it out. You're going to find this kind of matte hood right here. This is just on the Wilderness, and all of this body cladding on here too. So take a look at this, tons of body cladding. I mean, it looks rugged. It's got like plastic all over the place. And you're gonna get 17-inch wheels here. They are matte, but those are all-terrain tires. Check this out, Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires. So you got some grip. You'll also find the Subaru Wilderness badge. We've got a turn signal in the mirror, orange Crosstrek writing right there. And this green color, what do you think of the green? So I've had some people comment and say this looks like a turtle because it's green. It's kind of got the shell shape. You've got the accent colors up top, and you've got some tall roof rack bars right here. So if you put some crossbars up there, you've got good clearance to put some items. So that just adds to the ability to make this kind of more adventurous and off-road and rugged. And it's 176 inches long, so it is still pretty compact. Most Crosstreks are 8.7 inches of ground clearance, but this Wilderness gets 9.3 inches of ground clearance, and of course you have all-wheel drive. One difference for this model year is you've got a stiffer chassis now, which should improve the ride and the noise inside. And take a look at this rear end, more body cladding right here. So I mean, if you go through some brush or even go off-roading or actually get rugged with this Crosstrek, you're not gonna have to worry about scratching up the paint quite as much. You got these kind of claw-looking taillights and just a regular incandescent turn signal. Now, the Crosstrek doesn't get a hands-free power-operated liftgate like you might think it could for a $35,000 price point, but I honestly like that it's a manual liftgate. It's easy to lift. The only complaint that I have back here is that you don't get a full-size spare tire. For an adventurous, maybe off-road, maybe you're quite a ways away from civilization type of vehicle, you still get a temporary spare, which I'm glad they give you one, but it'd be nice to see a full size in a vehicle like this. Now, taking a closer look here, up on the liftgate, you've got a little handle up there, which is always good. There's even a light up overhead. That's not something you usually see, but that's nice, especially if you're loading and unloading in the dark. That's excellent. And cargo space back here is good, definitely solid for a small Subaru and the shape of the vehicle being not too boxy. You've got a little space on both sides like that, even a little tie down area over there too, a tie down hook up there, and this is a spot for your cargo cover. If you would like, you can have that over that too. There's another light right there, and as you can see, I have the seat folded down and I have a big box in here. I've got a backpack there, my tripod, even have a real estate sign. Shout out to Piper Creek Realty in Rockwall. And this it's just a nice practical area. The only thing that I complained about last time is I wish there was a middle split fold, so it was like a 40-20-40, but it's a 40-60 split still. And the Wilderness actually gives you a tiny bit more space overall compared to the regular one, just a hair. And under the floor, you get the temporary spare tire. Now, Subaru will give us a smart key system right here with this typical key fob. Got your lock, unlock for the Subaru logo. There's no remote start on the key fob though. I wish there was, just a minor complaint. The way this works is these little lines right there will lock it, and then you've got the sensor in the back to unlock it. Typically it's more responsive than that. Then when you hop inside, you've got the same kind of two-tone you'll see in the back seat, but this is nice and padded right here. A padded armrest and a solid grab handle and a pretty big bottle holder. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And we even have these optional power adjustable seats here too with this leather. So you've got the Subaru Wilderness badging on there. That looks pretty cool. These seats are pretty comfortable, actually. They've got good bolstering on them, more bolstering than I was expecting, and you've got this unique look with this, like, you know, same color of the outside, the exterior kind of striping and piping here. But these are actually pretty darn comfortable. And then power adjustment down here, you got two-way lumbar support, your typical height and tilt and recline, just like that. The steering wheel is manual adjustable, and I'll show you that. I said leather. These are not leather. They're synthetic leather called StarTex, but they are supposed to be water repellent. Steering wheel, manual tilt and telescoping. You've got a pretty good range of motion. I've had zero complaints with that. It is a leather wrapped steering wheel, although it is not heated. Now in the back seat, we've got this little two-tone trim right here. This is a hard touch plastic. You've got a semi-padded armrest, a good grab handle, and a bottle holder down there. And the back seat space is certainly reasonable. So I'm 5'9", sitting behind myself where I like to sit. Obviously you can see I've got a fair amount of knee space and even some foot space with the seat kind of low. One nice thing on here is we get these USB ports for the back seat. No air conditioning vents, you've got to rely on those front vents. And even though I have this folded down, I still have plenty of room here, but of course you can fold that up. And then you've got a center folding armrest here, as long as you don't have the base model. And you've got these cup holders with little rings and some padding. And with a hat, I can sit up tall without my head touching. Now I am only 5'9", but there are a lot of vehicles where you start to get crowded in the back seat. So good job, Subaru. Now I'm just going to briefly cover the interior because I went over the interior in detail before, but we've got push button start right there. The Wilderness model obviously gives us the accent colors here, even on the steering wheel right there, but you get the same large screen and the same cluster setup that you get in the others. I'd like to see some improvement on this gauge cluster. That's just my opinion. You know, you can still go through different information on here with your steering wheel. However, I was expecting something a little better with the refresh, but that's just the way it is. You can still see your driver assist stuff right there because you have a lot of driver assist features standard here. You've got the Subaru EyeSight system right there. We've got blind spot monitoring. We've got lane keeping system, radar cruise control, emergency braking, all of that stuff. Drive modes you control right here, the S and the I. S is like a sport sequential mode. I is basically like your normal mode. Moving over, Subaru added this large vertical screen. It's about 11.5 inches. It works and looks pretty nice. You still have physical controls for your volume and a tuning knob. Otherwise, things are integrated into the screen here. So if you want to do more for your climate controls, you can tap on the screen and then you can adjust more here, like make it automatic, recirculation, change where the fan goes. I still miss having actual buttons without having to touch a screen or go into a screen, but that's just me. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That is also nice to see, but you can shortcut out of that back to Subaru's home screen right here. You got a quick shortcut for settings right there, which is also nice. You can activate your auto hold for the vehicle hold. Your all-wheel drive X mode, you can adjust that in here on the fly. Auto stop start, turn that off right there. And Subaru gives us an optional 10-speaker 432 watt Harman Kardon audio system. Down from there, we have a wireless charging mat along with a couple of USB charging ports, fast charging USB ports. Now you do turn this one on and it has been very finicky. I've had trouble getting things to charge well on there and consistently, but that's just me. It's been this one and the last Subaru I was in. Electronic parking brake. Let's throw it into reverse. Check out this camera. So no 360 camera right here, but you get a fairly clear backup camera with dynamic lines. More down here, you get your heated seat controls. You've just got a 2-tier, a high and a low for you and your passenger, plus cup holders. So the cup holders are interesting. You've got this diagonal pattern, which I like the diagonal more than like a side to side. And then these inserts come out, so you can have it kind of lifted or upright rubbery inserts or just straight to the bottom. 12-volt power outlet right there, and a nice little storage area that you wouldn't really see in most vehicles. Just a little extra spot to throw my sunglasses. I've been there, I've had keys there, I've shoved my wallet there real quick, so that is nice. Padded armrest right here, and it comes out far enough to where I can rest my arm and touch the steering wheel if I want to. Lift it up, decent size area here. just enough to store some stuff. Now, Subaru does not give us a locking glove box, unfortunately. And right here, this is actually a manual flipping mirror. You can optionally get an automatic dimming mirror. I like the manual flipping mirror personally. Right there, got our lights here. You even have a moonroof in here too. And for the visors, if we pull this out, the whole visor doesn't slide, but you've got this sliding piece. So overall, the interior is mainly about this large vertical touchscreen. The rest of it is still practical, I would definitely say that, and it's easy to live with. All right, y'all, we are behind the wheel of this Subaru Crosstrek now, and as far as the power goes and the powertrain for this Crosstrek, there are only two differences of this compared to the one I reviewed not that long ago. So I'm not going to go over this a ton, but it gets 182 horsepower from a 2.5 liter boxer 4-cylinder engine. Transmission is a CVT, the same CVT we had in the other one, and that's really the only complaint I have about this car. I'll talk more about that in a second. And the two differences here from the regular Crosstrek with this powertrain is this can tow 3,500 pounds, whereas the other one can tow 1,500 pounds. So the Wilderness makes it a little more capable, again, as far as towing. So if you want to tow a camper or a boat or something like that, you can feel better about doing it with this Wilderness. The other difference is that the MPG goes down a decent amount in the Wilderness, probably from the ride height alone and some of the body cladding, just a less aerodynamic type of vehicle. Now, my one complaint really is not the fact that it has a CVT, it's the fact that this CVT sometimes is not as smooth as I would like it to be. It does have that rubber band effect when you're accelerating and you kind of let go. It's just, it just kind of does its CVT type of thing. Most of the time in day-to-day situations, it's totally fine. And I think most of you that drive this, you'll just get used to it. You won't even think about it, and you're not going to care about it. It's just me being a little critical, considering I've driven so many different types of vehicles. But on the day-to-day, I enjoy driving this Subaru for the most part. It is fairly comfortable. Subaru says that for 2024, the Crosstreks have a better ride, so they're more comfortable. These seats are more comfortable. The chassis has been stiffened, which is supposed to contribute to that, and that should help with our road noise as well, which does not seem too bad in here either, even though we don't have laminated, acoustic glass or anything like that on the sides. It still does just fine. The steering input on here is about average. It's not super light or super heavy, which is pretty mainstream nowadays. Seems like almost every car feels about the same. It's kind of incredible. It seems pretty direct and spot on. Now we're just in our regular drive mode. I'm gonna get pedal down. Okay, so obviously it's not super quick, but it does okay, and it's good enough as far as passing modes go. The weird thing with the CVT is the RPMs, boom, immediately go way up. It's not like a buildup of a regular transmission and then it shifts. It goes way up, and then you kind of feel like it pulls, and then it kind of stops, and then it pulls, then it kind of stops, and then it pulls. Like, it's weird, like it's kind of mimicking gears, but it just feels different. Not a big deal. Let's put it in S mode. So this one's gonna raise the RPMs right away, and it's just more responsive. So if you need more power, or if you need to pass somebody, maybe you can throw it into S mode, and you'll be good to go with that. It's not a terribly loud engine either. Like, some 4-cylinders can get pretty loud and make a ruckus, but this Subaru's pretty docile. And in my last video, I talked about how my grandparents lived in the mountains and they always drove a Subaru. And Subarus are very cult-like, if you want to say that. People love their Subarus when they get them. And, I can understand it. It's all-wheel drive. You've got more capability than you do in most vehicles. You've got good space. They've got typically excellent safety ratings. I think this is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, partially because it's got adaptive headlights. So I mean, there's not much in terms of a negative with the Subaru Crosstrek. So if you're looking for a small crossover like this, is this something you would consider, or would you go for something else? I'd love to hear your thoughts below, but let's go ahead and wrap things up. So to wrap things up on this Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness, it is kind of nice that the Wilderness isn't just an appearance package. It's not just for looks. Whether you like the looks or not, it comes with a bigger, taller ride height, so you've got more ground clearance, because Subaru does make these more capable off-road than what you would probably expect. We even have these all-terrain tires over here. Got this special outfitting on the inside as well. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the way that this Wilderness model looks. And would you go for the Wilderness or one of the other models of this new Crosstrek? It does come with pretty good space. It's a good practical vehicle, and there's really a lot to like about it. It maybe doesn't shine in most categories, but for an adventurous person, I think this is about perfect for you. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and have a great day.